let's bring him into the Punch podcast. The one and only pretty boy, Michael Zerafa. Look at this.
How are you, mate? How's things, bro? Good.
This is good. I've seen there's a big announcement for you where there's a new fight night coming up in November, and it's on a no limit card. This is a name I did not think I'd see on one of those posters for a while.
Yeah, you and me both, mate. It was a long time coming, but it's good. It's good to be back. You know, the water's under the bridge now, and you know there was a few misunderstandings, and you know a lot of lies told. You know, back and forth from. It wasn't even from the no limit team. It was other people that. I would never expect it from. But, we're here now and moving forward. We're on the No Limit card, and it's a great card to be on, and I'm excited.
Yeah, co-main. This is great. In Sydney, the ICC Theatre, the 23rd of November. Now, nolimitboxing.com.au for your tickets, as well as Ticketek as well. And you will see yourself there under the bright lights in Sydney. It's good to see you back on TV. Is it a bit of a relief to be on Fox Sports again and just back in the circle of Australian boxing at that level?
Yeah, man, it's the best thing. Like now I can, showcase all my class, in the public eye. And I always knew it was going to happen. It was just, a matter of when. They couldn't keep me out forever because, it's the sport's missing out. I bring a lot of flamboyance. I bring a lot of arrogance, and obviously I'm a good fighter. I've done well in my career, and, it would be a shame not to broadcast that to the fight fans. And, like I said, we're back now, and I'm raps. And, shout out to the No Limit and the crew for giving me the opportunity to showcase that on November 23rd.
Yeah, you're not some like RSL journeyman hustler, like you're number one in the world in one of the organisations.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'd like to think not, but yeah, we'll see how we go.
Yeah, look, obviously with all of that stuff, there's probably a time where obviously we had the Isaac Hardman fight, which went pretty well for you, around about 23 seconds, if something like that.
I think less.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I was just, look, I think for you, like, was it a hard time to train through all of that, knowing like where's the next part of everything coming from? And then you are listening to all these different people and you're wondering where the hell the right information is. Because when you are at that level, there's a lot of feeders.
Yeah, look, it's tough, especially mentally, like trying to have to deal with everything and walk into a gym with all that going on and, still putting in 110%. But I just have to keep reminding myself, like, this is your career, like no one's going to do it for you. No one's going to fight for you. You can sit there and sulk all you want, but then, when it comes fight time, you're going to get undone. So I was just like, you know what, for an hour and a half, I have to switch off, and do my session, whether it be 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever the session may be, just switch off. Let's just do it. Then you can go back to complaining about it. But let's just switch off for this time being and let's just get the work done. Let's put it in the bank. And, come fight time, we can spend it. But look, it is very, very tough, especially, dealing with the people I was dealing with, didn't think it would come from them, but, you find out people's true colors, eventually.
Yeah. And you probably find out their colors more if there's not that you beat Isaac Hardman, but if there's a loss in a way, rather that be, you know what I mean? Yeah.
100%, man. It's the loneliest, change room. When I had that defeat against Horn in the rematch, the locker room was changed. My head trainer wasn't even there, which is pretty pathetic. But it is what it is. I just have to move forward. Like I said, it's my career, and I just keep reminding myself, it's your career, Mick. Like no one's going to do it for you. No one's going to give you anything. You got to create it. You got to make it. You got to train for it. You got to fight for it. And I've done that my whole life. I've just literally fought for everything I've wanted. And that's why I'm here where I am now today, just that sacrifice, that discipline, dedication. Sometimes the motivation is never there, but it's just discipline. My alarm went off at 2:30 yesterday morning. And I was like, man, I just want to hit the snooze button. There's no motivation. It's cold. It's Melbourne. It's pissing down rain. But you know what? The discipline said, Mick, let's get up because, when it gets to 4 or 5 o'clock, you're going to regret it, So let's just do it, get in the bank. And I was in the gym 2 o'clock, 2:30.
I have always felt for you, Melbourne fighters. The Brisbane guys have probably got it the best.
Yeah, nice and warm.
Yeah, do a Melbourne around August, June.
Mate, it is. We never get a summer here, mate. We get probably 2-3 days, that are really like peaking. But then, our summer's pretty average. Probably Brisbane's winter is our summer.
That is, I guess that probably goes in the zone of showing your true colours as a fighter, like just being able to maintain that all year round, because everyone else does get a little bit of a walk in the park weather-wise, and you are the ice.
Yeah, man, I prefer the cold, to be honest. But I'm starting to get a bit over it now. Like every day is just miserable. I don't mind an overcasting day, and on a Sunday you just do your run in the morning, whatever you're doing, training, just chill out on the couch and have a bit of sweets or something, just enjoy it. It's a nice Netflix and chill day. But I'm getting a bit over it now. It's just literally cold, especially getting close to the fight, trying to cut weight, and it is miserable.
Yeah. Well, you've got a opponent, an 8-0 opponent in the other corner to you coming on the 23rd of November. What do we know about Daniil Creati?
Respectfully, not much. I said that yesterday at the press conference, and I always alliterate, respectfully, because I just haven't crossed paths with him. We've never been in the same area. He's from Sydney. I'm Melbourne, and I haven't seen too much of his fights, and he hasn't not really that experienced. But take nothing away from this is a huge fight. I've seen in his eyes yesterday. He's going to come to bring it, But I just feel like I always say this, there's levels in boxing, and he hasn't quite hit that level yet. Well, he's still, pretty far from that. But I'm sure he's going to rock up fight night and give it his absolute best, and he's hungry, and I've got a lot to lose, and he's got a lot to gain. But I just feel like, he's just not at that level just yet, and he's going to struggle with my power. And a lot of people, when they get in the ring with me, they realize pretty quick, man, this kid can punch, so we'll see. We'll see what he brings.
You're going to look for a PB on the knockout and try and beat Isaac Hardman's time and just...
I think I did that with Mundine. I think I beat with Mundine. I think I beat him in a minute 40 or minute 30 in the first round.
Even fighting a fight like that, obviously boxing people would have been right across Michael Zerafa, but the wider Australian public, that would have been something that sort of put you out there into the media a lot more. All of a sudden there's Fox Sports are hitting you up. You've got newspapers calling you. How was that to run through a Mundine fight week those years ago?
Look, for me, it was always on my bucket list or my fight list. I always wanted to fight Anthony Mundine. Even at 13 years old, I was calling him out on MySpace. And he actually replied.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't know it was crazy. The fact that I was, had the confidence that I could beat him, or the fact that he replied. I didn't know what to do. I was beside myself. But yeah, he replied saying, "If you're looking to be beat, I'm the man to meet." And I left him on scene. And 15 years later, I ended up knocking him out and retiring him. But for me, he's a great marketing tool. And, I say to people, I've been all around the world, and I fought Peter Quillen, I fought Cal Brook, I fought Arif Magomedov, and people just look at me like, and then I throw in, Anthony Mundine, and they're like, "Oh, no way, you beat Mundine," So for me, it was about the marketing tool, to grab him on my resume. It's like having Mike Tyson on your resume, even though he's 60 years old and he's past his best, and having Mike Tyson is like, what? You beat Mike Tyson, the greatest of all time, So for Australia, he's our Mike Tyson in his young days, and I just wanted to put that on my resume, and I did that in style in a minute 30.
He was also someone that hasn't exactly had the support from all of Australia, and he's probably faced a few online comments or whatever, very much like yourself. So
very exactly.
Well, I reckon the good thing about Australia, I think, is they'll throw that shade uneducated, but I think it's easy enough to turn them. You just I reckon one good win and you're back.
Yeah, well, look, Aussie boxing fans, they hurt my brain because these guys that are writing, Zerafa, you're this and you're that, and you're a flog and retire. And it's the same people that ask me for a photo at the press conference. These people that get on there and criticize and put in their 2 cents, that they ask me for photos when I'm in front of them. Hey man, do you mind if I get a pic? Can you get a pic with my kid? And I'm like, yeah, mate, no worries. But I pull them up on it. Sometimes I sometimes go through and I remember the comment or I remember the photo or the face. I'm like, I appreciate the comment, mate. And they go bright red, like, oh no, that was my mate. That was.
He had me.
You just, their balls go between their legs. But I mean, look, it is what it is. Like I said, you get a good win, and you twist them around.
Yeah, the flip side to that is too, regardless love or hate or whatever it might be, it still sells being in the middles when you've got an issue.
Yeah. Well, that's what I do. And I said, whether you love or you hate me, you're going to watch me. Like yesterday at the press conference, even the numbers went through the roof. Well, majority of them probably were bagging me, but they're tuned in now.
Yeah.
And that's what Mundine did so great. And I've kind of taken that away from him a little bit. He's passed on that torch and said, man, keep rolling with it. After our fight, we're in the back rooms. He said, mate, you remind me so much of myself in the younger days. You've got the flamboyance. You look the part, you talk the part, you fight the part. He said, keep rolling with it. He said, because, in 20 years from now, no one's going to remember your career. You know, there's new up and comers, there's new people, there's, you know, the name will still be there, but you want a bank account, you know, and that's what sells.
Yeah.
You know, the bums on seats, the eyes that turn onto the fight night, and, you know, win, lose or draw, it's a job. You know, and people got to understand, you know, it's the entertainment business. You know, it's you got to sell the fight.
And then post boxing, you've got the speaking to a circuit, commentary off, like you've got commentary offers, you've got other things because your profile's there and it's built. So that's
I'm starting to now, you know, even on local shows, like, you know, guys that are just at town halls and stuff like that, they'll ring me, hey man, do you want to do the commentary? And I'm like, yeah, straight, I'll go down. And, you know, I've been lucky enough to go to the Team Malice shows, and, you know, I was going to do one. I was meant to do the Mark Hunt and Sonny Bill fight, but unfortunately they got canned. But, you know, the opportunities are coming. So, you know, the more you build your name, the, you know, other opportunities come, you know, TV and commentary and radio, and, you know, it just makes yourself a bigger name and a better life, really.
And a little stint on SAS as well. SAS.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I got a little bit of a gig on that, and I'm spewing. I was actually the favourite to win that, but I actually dislocated my shoulder and tore my pec, and mate, it was not pleasant.
Do you know, my first thought when I saw that was, I've seen previous episodes and I never actually saw the start of this one, of your one, but they normally give people boxing gloves and go fight each other. Did they do that on yours? Because I remember, imagine getting Zerafa.
Yeah. Well, they said, unfortunately, we can't do. I picked up the stick because they said, we can't do the boxing because Zerafa's in here. And I said, mate, we're doing swimming challenges with Jeff Hugel in there, you know, like an Olympian diver. So we're doing swimming challenges, and mate, we're all at a disadvantage. And yeah, they had a good laugh, but yeah, they didn't want to do it because obviously they said Zerafa's in there and Ebony Bridges was in there, and it's a bit of a misadvantage. And I said, well, mate, it is what it is. But not my luck. I would have got Barry Hall or someone to call me out. Mate, the lineup in that show, when I got there, I thought, mate, I'm going to have a huge advantage. I'm a unit. You know, I saw previous shows. They're all small. I rock up the lineup. Some of the females were bigger than me. We had the rugby girls in there, and, you know, they were just absolute units. And I was like, you know, I'm going to struggle here. But unfortunately, yeah, my time got cut short, and hopefully we can get back on there.
Hey, also this week we saw in the news there's a potential, I don't know how far along the line, hopefully you can give us some information on a potential fight with you and Triple G.
Look, big things are looming. You know, obviously I'm number one now in the WBA, and I've got Elvis Grant, my manager, who's putting in all the groundwork, you know, in America with the promoters and with his team and stuff. And nothing's obviously been signed. There's been no contracts, no nothing. We're pushing forward for that fight. But, you know, he's verbally said that he's happy to come to Australia to fight. And I'm the man that is his number one. So, you know, nothing's 100%. It's boxing. Anything can change. Money talks. But, you know, we're pushing real hard for that. And there's strong and positive negotiations happening at the moment.
And if that happens, that'll be for 2 belts?
It'll be for the WBA.
Just the one? Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll hopefully beat him and take that off him. Then we can face Tim Tszyu.
Yeah, that'd be red hot, wouldn't it? And is that like the life's work to just finally face him, Tim Tszyu?
Yeah, look,
regardless, who knows if you're going to be 50 when you do it? Who knows? But hopefully it's sooner than later.
It'll be the Jeff Fennick Zuma Nelson fight, I think. It'll be the Mundine Green. It's the Zerafa Tszyu show, or the Tszyu Zerafa show, however you want to look at it. But yeah, look, it needs to happen. He thinks he's the best. I think I'm the best. Stylistically, we match up perfectly. You know, you got patience versus aggression. You got, you know, both boxers, both counter fighters. You know, one's, you know, more experienced than the other. And there's only one way to settle it, and that's fighting.
I was thinking about this today, and I was like, there's an opportunity here. If all the cards fell correctly, is this how it would work? Let's say Tim Tszyu beats Jamal Charlo in Jan, wins the undisputed super welter. Then you beat Triple G in March, become world champ, and then Tim gets a free crack at a 2-division champ.
Well, that's the plan. That's the literally that's the plan. We said if he wins his, I win mine. We unify. Yeah. You know, and may the best man win. And like I said, if we both lose, there's a bounce back fight for each other as well. So it's a very strong fight. It's what the public want, and I reckon the pay-per-views will go through the roof. He just needs to learn how to speak a little bit better. He's very quiet. You know, Nikita's, I think, got the better trade of speaking in front of public. But yeah, look, let's see. We might see the return of Mickey Hatton.
Oh, I saw his eyes turn in that press conference.
Yeah, but look, you know, credit to the media always turn things. You know how the media is, mate. They only showed me they made me the pure villain on that fight night, and then in that room, mate. As soon as I said Mickey Hatton, I said, mate, full credit to his dad. His dad's an absolute legend. You know, one of my favorite fighters. You know, and they made me look real bad.
I'd almost imagine the promo for that fight. Imagine them bringing back all the old footage and all the drama. Dunk, 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 dunk. And
yeah. And it finally here, you know, when the worlds collide.
Yeah. Well, the theatre of it would be amazing. But look, it'd be even awesome to see Triple G roll out to Australia. If that fight got approved, where would you want it? Would you want it at a hometown fight in Melbourne? Would you take it to Sydney? Whoever's got I guess someone's going to purchase it essentially. So
correct. Yeah, it would go to a purse bid, and obviously the best promoter or the best, you know, card will take the win. But ideally, I'd love it to be in Australia. You know, I've got my hometown support. I'm, you know, don't have to climatize and adjust, and you know. But for me, just the opportunity, you know, I'll travel wherever it be. If it had to be in Kazakhstan, if it had to be wherever he's from, if it had to be Japan, America, England, wherever. You know, the opportunity is huge. This is why we're fighters. We fight. You know, and I'd love it to be anywhere. You know, just the sign off would be enough for me.
Yeah, you could Daniel Gill in your corner and just get a bit of a payback.
100%. Yeah. He did really well in that fight. He just got clipped, you know, and he's at his end. And if anyone's going to beat him, you know, it's now. You know, lucky it wasn't 4 years ago, because it would be a very early night for Zerafa, I think.
And I think what was the last one with Canelo, when he fought Canelo? Were you thinking that the belts might have vacated and then there was a world title fight with maybe Falcao or something like that? That was the plan?
That was the plan, yeah. So we're basically saying, well, he's lost now. There was talks about him retiring and whatnot, and the belts were going to come up. And then obviously, yeah, me and Falcao were 1 and 2, and we'd be in line for the IBF world title. But you know, he's still got one more fight in him, he reckons. And yeah, he said whether it's myself or, you know, whoever he picks, I'm at the top of the list though. So I'm in a good spot, comfortable spot now. And like I said, I'm just batting for my manager now to get it over the line. But again, it's boxing and anything can happen.
Absolutely. And yeah, it might be an interesting one to get him to Australia for his last fight. That might be the hardest. He might want to do a big hometown finale, but that's all right.
Well, he said that he's a fighter that wants to fight all around the world. A world champion travels, he said, and he goes, I always wanted to fight in Japan, and I did. He goes, and I've always wanted to fight in Australia. And he mentioned that after the Canelo fight, and obviously back and forth with our teams. You know, he said Australia it's a nice place. He'd love to fight there.
Yeah, well, we would love to have him. I could imagine him on the top of the Harbour Bridge with his double thumbs up, his Kazakhstan thumbs, and away.
Correct. It even sounds good, you know, Zerafa v Triple G. Like, it even just flows, you know. What a fight that will be.
Yeah, profile and style and all the stuff. I love it. It'd be great.
All, mate. I've planned it in my head, you know, manifesting it.
This is what happens when you do a bit of road work. You just think when you run.
Correct, man. I'm about to head off soon before it rains to do a bit of a run. I trained this morning. I'll get a nice couple of KMs in and just relax for the night, I reckon.
Yeah, perfect. Your weight class, obviously middleweight's got some big names in there. Jaime Munguia. You've got a Charlo in your weight classes. Is he someone? Imagine that. Zerafa versus Charlo, Zoo versus Charlo. Oh, I'd love to see. And then
it'd be huge, man. And then the winners fight each other. Well,
maybe not the brothers
fight each other, but you know, like it'd be awesome. You know, well, the winners would be me and Tim, and then obviously, yeah, we fight each other and we unify. And it's some of the names in the divisions, in both divisions, mine and his, you know, they're huge. Even just getting the opportunity, and just even when I look at the rankings and see my name there and read, you know, Fox and, you know, all the media newspapers, I've just seen my name alongside all these other guys. It's like, man, you know, even the same sentence, Zerafa and Triple G and Zerafa Cal Brook and Zerafa Munguia and Zerafa, you know, like it's it's pretty impressive. It's you know, you got to pinch yourself sometimes. You know, I'm just a local boy who started off training in a garage, you know, and then now looking back, I'm
skating rink.
Yeah, literally. I fought, you know, a guy that was debuting or had one fight, maybe, I can't remember, and yeah, just from there it all uphill. Yeah,
love it. Well, you're going to see him under the bright lights of the ICC in November the 23rd. Years getting away. November 23. No Limit Boxing presents Gallen and presents Hodges and Zerafa. It's going to be good. It's going to be great.
The best in the biz.
How are you, quickly, just before we do run off, how are you seeing Tim Tszyu and Jamel Charlo in January? What are your thoughts on that as we look to
A lot of people ask me, and they freak out when they ask me, because obviously, despite our differences and whatnot, we obviously don't like each other to that extent. We wouldn't call ourselves mates, but I hope he does well. I hope he brings him back, because it's good for Australian boxing. I'm not going to be one of those salty, I hope he gets knocked down. I hope he gets, I want him to do well. Hopefully he can bring him back. But it's a tough ask, and Charlo's is a killer, man. He's not beating guys that Tszyu's fought or who I've fought. He's knocking out legitimate killers, and doing it in style. And I think Castano beats Tszyu, and Charlo's disposing of him. So look, it's a huge ask, but I'm strangely in Tszyu's corner.
I can see it. One day you'll have a beer.
Yeah. Maybe me and Hardman as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, look, we appreciate you swinging by the Punch podcast. Michael Zerafa, it's been a bloody good chat, and hope to see you back on here again sometime soon.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for the time, mate, and keep up the good work, mate. You're doing an absolute wonderful job.